For part C, okay, it says find the x-coordinate of each point at which the graph of G has a horizontal tangent line. What's G again? Oh, G is this little thing here. I'm not even going to read the rest of it. I just want to do what it says for that first sentence. There's nothing... it's probably good to read it. For each of these points, determine... Oh, it's just extra instructions. Okay, so we'll just look at the first part. Find the x-coordinate of each point at which the graph of G has a horizontal tangent line. Horizontal tangent line. Tangent line. That reminds... I'm thinking of derivative. Okay, so I'm thinking of the derivative of G. Oh, the derivative of G? That means I just plugged the derivative of G. We already talked about that. That's just, so G prime. That's just f of x, right? Right? And we have the graph of f of x. Okay. We want the horizontal tangent line. Well, so that means we want the derivative to be 0, because that means it has a slope of 0, which is the horizontal tangent line. Okay, so when is the slope of this 0? Sorry, when is the slope of this 0? Well, that's when the derivative is 0. When is the derivative 0? Well, that's just when f is 0. When is f 0? Looks like it's 0 at -1. So it says find the coordinate. This I would write in a sentence. What would I write? I would write, well, let's read the question. Find the x-coordinate of each point at which the graph of G has a horizontal tangent line. So I would say the graph of G has a horizontal tangent line this takes a long time. Has a horizontal tangent line at x equals -1 and x equals +1. How do I know that? Because that's the f is 0 there, and f is the slope of G. So there we go. That's to answer the first part of the question. Just write it out in a sentence, and you're covered. And then it says, for each of these, determine whether G is has a relative minimum, relative maximum. Oh my goodness! You remember this stuff? You remember this stuff? I remember it because I'm a math teacher. It's like I'm rubbing that in your face, and it's not even something that like people care about. Nobody cares that I'm... Okay, so relative max, relative min. Well, I know that I have a relative minimum when the slope goes from negative to positive, right? No, look at that. There's a relative minimum. And I have a relative maximum when the slope is positive to negative. So that would be a relative maximum. Okay, but f is the slope of G. So really, I'm just looking for when f goes from positive to negative or negative to positive. Because that tells me that G, the slope of G is changing from negative to positive or positive to negative. Okay, so at -1, x equals -1. Ooh, this one says justify your answer. I need a justification. There's points for justification on this. At x equals -1, right there. Oh, look at that. F goes from positive to negative. So positive to negative, that's a relative maximum, isn't it? So again, I would write a sentence. I would say G has a relative max at x equals 1. Sorry, -1, right? Yeah, -1. Was it -1? It was. At x equals -1, that looks weird. Because G prime of x changes sign from positive to negative. At x equals -1. So G prime, yeah, G prime, which also equals f of x. The way, let's read this out loud, which I just did. G has a relative max at x equals -1. I would write that better. At x equals -1. Where's my because? This doesn't make sense. I need a because in here. Because G prime of x, which equals f of x, changes sign from positive to negative at x equals -1. So that's part of my answer. You definitely need that justification, the changing from positive to negative. And then it says, well, what about the other one? Ooh, look at this. We go from negative and we remain negative. So that's neither a minimum nor maximum. So then you would say G doesn't have a minimum or maximum, relative minimum or maximum. So G doesn't have a relative max or min at x equals 1 because just before 1 we are negative, and just after 1 we're negative. So you can't just say we're negative. You have to tell what is negative. So G doesn't have a relative max or min at x equals 1 because G prime of x, right, the derivative, the slope, which equals f of x, that remained negative. Negative before and after 1, right? Yeah. So there you go. We're moving on to part D. Potty. Okay, that's it. You definitely need the justifications. Definitely write sentences. That way there's no mistaking what your justification is. You got to write sentences. So there you go. That's how you write those sentences. That would be 3 points. 1 for stating this, and then 1 point for this and their justifications. So far, what have we had? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is going to be worth 2 points somehow. Okay. Because we need 9. We need 9. All free response are worth 9, I think. All right, bye.